So I've been joined by Rania. Rania, thank you so much for joining me at the last second. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So it's always an eventful day. It's a big year, big election year. But you and I were both caught off guard. I think you found it first, and you wrote it up in your piece on your site about this letter. So again, now full transparency for everyone watching. Bakari has already agreed to come on the show and discuss it, but we may not be able to lock in with him until next week. So we still wanted to talk about it tonight. And Bakari, if you're watching, feel free to call in, and we'll chop it up on air. So with that being said, how are you, first of all, and tell me about the piece and what are you thinking about it?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. It's just another day in the neighborhood.
I like that answer. So yeah, I really do. I really hope Bakari follows through. I'm really looking forward to debating him on this issue. But yeah, so if people were paying attention over the weekend, the Democratic Platform Committee met so that they could vote on language to submit for the draft of the Democratic platform. And so they had a lot of, that was last Friday, there was a lot of back and forth, a lot of bickering over various issues. And unfortunately, a lot of progressive issues, you have, there's 5 people on the committee who Bernie Sanders appointed. The rest were appointed by the DNC and Hillary Clinton, and for the most part support Hillary Clinton. And so it was pretty much an ideological battle, I think, over the various points. And one of those issues was Israel-Palestine. It came at night. It was the last issue to be discussed. And the Bernie people, they introduced an amendment to the language that's already in the draft of the platform, basically calling for a couple things. One of the things that they wanted to do was they asked to add in language, basically calling for the end of Israel's decades-long military occupation of the West Bank and Gaza. They called for the end of Israeli settlements, which has been illegal settlements, I should say, which have been an issue that have dramatically contributed to the conflict. And they called for a rebuilding of Gaza. Another issue that they brought up was so the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement, which is Palestinian-led and is basically a nonviolent movement to try and pressure Israel to and its military occupation and its human rights abuses against Palestinians. There's language in the platform at the moment that basically states Democratic Party opposition to delegitimization of Israel at the UN and through BDS. And so that's what the language is now. And so the Bernie Sanders people wanted to have that removed. And so these were the requests they made. And it was shot down by the Clinton people, by the mostly Hillary Clinton supporters, the Bernie Sanders supporters. All 5 of them were the only ones who voted for it. And I mean, this is not something radical. Right. This is pretty basic. Like, it's not like it's calling for something even I'd want, like as far as I'd want. It's just saying what U.S. policy already says, which is that we want an end to the Israeli occupation. We want we want equality for both people, for Israelis and Palestinians. Israel needs to end its illegal settlement enterprise, and Gaza needs to be rebuilt. And that's it. I mean, that's not anything crazy or radical. Those are things that even President Obama says, right? So that was beat down because the Hillary Clinton wing of the party, which is the establishment of the party, is very much allied with Israel and allied with the right-wing regime in Israel, which is unfortunate.